a glimpse of stocking was looked on as something shocking.
Ethel Merman is a voice you either love or hate, but you can't deny that it changed the realm of singing in musical theater by pioneering what we know today as the Broadway build.
S-I-S.
She was one of the people who actually kind of took that vaudeville sound and brought it to Broadway.
Miss Toy now sing a famous Chinese song.
Because vaudeville was more along the lines of what she did. You know, this is before the Rodgers and Hammerstein era, you know, which leaned more into the classical elements of singing. So, but she brought that style in, and that usually is not something that you heard a lot in those days in Broadway leads. She stood out because she had, I guess, one of the loudest voice, if not, on Broadway. She was known for belting because she could belt without a microphone. Clearly didn't use microphones back in those days. On Broadway, and it would hit the back of the house.
For since I come to care.
Comparing her to some of her predecessors, maybe like a Mary Martin, a lot of them sang more classically based.
Right. Yes, they were a lot more classical. It was very thin. The sound was very thin. It was very pretty.
I hold my head erect and whistle a happy tune.
You had Mary Martin, Shirley Jones, who people would know from doing all the Rodgers and Hammerstein and stuff. But she was just very different because the style she was in was very much that.
Where to go to? Why don't you go where fashion sits?
That's perfect.
Putting on the ring!
Vaudeville. All her repertoire is mostly based on the vaudeville technique of singing and the vaudeville technique of writing.
Got no diamond, got no pearl. Still I think I'm a lucky girl. Got the sun in the morning and the moon at night.
Well, first of all, I mean, it's a very unique sound. It's very well supported. But her sound is very much in the mass and is very high.
What do I find? The things
It's almost like she's singing. I'm going to demonstrate, and please do not read me.
Got no mansion, got no yacht. Still I'm happy with what I got. I got the sun in the morning and the moon at night.
She's singing right here the whole time. Everything is very much up here, like here, under top of your mouth. And she just, with the air going and the air flowing, she's just able to just easily sing that. And it's a very high belt, even though she's mostly in the middle. I'm thinking maybe she's between F and C.
Yeah, the lines are middle C to C third space.
But she's able to produce in that space because she has so much air and so much power. She's able to do so much sound in there. That is actually very much a typical belt range for someone who is considered a Broadway belt.
Just to reiterate, so how does her technique, so placing it very high, allow her voice?
Yeah.
So how does that allow her to, be heard without a microphone?
You pretty much, when you're singing, and you always want to sing in a dome. And that means it's, the chiaroscuro, bringing the light within the dark. You always want to feel like there is a lot of space behind here, but not necessarily a lot of space in front. Especially when it comes to Broadway singing. Because of the mass she has, she's able to really just point. And there's a lot of breath support. As simple as it was, just simply as breath support. That's how she's able to create that sound. But also, there are certain things that people are just naturally born with that we can't technically explain.
Got no diamond, got no pearl, still I think I'm a lucky girl.
I got no mansion, I got no yacht, but still I'm happy with what I've got.
Got no silver, got no gold, what I got can
see, when you hear other people sing that song, it's a much more lush sound.
Got no diamond, got no pearl, still I think I'm a...
That's her in her prime, and the enunciation is flawless.
Got no mansion, got no yacht, still I'm happy.
It was all bang, 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 right here, right in the...
Sunshine,
And music for Broadway was very syllabic, which means that every note had a syllable on it. It was very text-driven.
Isola's right. It was very text-driven, and I would say she was second to only Julie Andrews when it came to text, because you can understand every freaking word Julie Andrews says when she sings. She used the vowels and the text to actually help support her sound. That's part of the reason why it was so loud. Or carried so well, because she is driving the text. As you can see when she sings that sunshine.
sunshine,
She leans into the vowel there.
give me a lovely day.
Not necessarily pleasant all the time. Her dynamics can be questioned, obviously. But I think at that time, it was not more about style.
I could have sworn
Style in singing, believe it or not, came very much with the Rodgers and Hammerstein era. And what I mean by that, it's more like interpretation with the nuance of the crescendo lines.
I could have done.
This was just the girls had to be heard and had to get through.
Give me a lovely day.
Even as Broadway moved toward a more classical sound with Rodgers and Hammerstein, Merman's belting never faded. Instead, she set the stage for singers who took it even further.
How about this, Barbara?
Sorry,
huh?
what about- what's-
yeah,
what
isn't
are we
this
gonna
great?
do?
The new belter.
Yes.
Barbra Streisand and Melba Moore will be the first singers to take the belt to the top and above the staff. And Patti LuPone would carry the Merman tradition into modern Broadway.
I want to join the happy band, play all day in the promised land, so blow, Gabriel, slow.
Proving that Merman's voice still echoes through every powerhouse belter today.
And I don't think the Ethel Merman type sound is going to be something that comes back. And it's not because there are not people who don't have those voices, because I always say this, any voice that is still here. You just have to find it. I think that no one's trained in that way. We don't have vaudeville no more. People like Patti LuPone are the closest thing we'll get to that sound. Ethel kind of stands alone in that.